Hey, how's it going? Today I'm going to be doing a race with some people online for once. Let's get right into it. So I get onto the start straight. I'm warming up my brakes a little bit of a gap between me and the cars in front, which is a bit odd, but we go green right about now. There's a Ferrari on my left, which I get straight in front of, so that's a good start. And I realize that the guys in front of me are going to be pretty slow up radion for the first time, so I have to tap off a bit. Carry as much speed as I can over the top, which allows me to get right alongside this Lambo. So right away that's one position for me. But the battle's not over yet, he's still on my right. It looks like there's a 3 wide building up in front of me, so gonna have to brake a little bit early, just be sensible coming into this corner for the first time, which I do. Giving that Lambo on the right some room you can't see. That Audi goes a bit wide, so everyone has to be a bit cautious here. Especially that Porsche goes really wide, allowing me to shoot right through. Two positions already. Alright, down here we've got a 2 wide. If I was a tiny bit closer, I could have sniped myself another position right there, but no, that guy gets to keep his position for now. Coming out this corner, trying to give myself an opportunity to get through here, but no, he had a really good exit, so not just yet. Braking early into Pujon. Just nervous that some of these guys might brake a little bit early. Gotta be careful. He goes a bit wide here, which I could sneak down the inside a little bit. I had to be gentle on the throttle, otherwise I'd understeer right into him. And we don't want to have crashes. That Aston behind me also looked a bit fighty, so I had to go to the middle of the track to be a little bit defensive at the same time. I hadn't done any practice in this combination. All I really did was a single outlap in the qualifying session to get a feel for it. All my practicing is going to be done during this race, which is probably not the best idea, but it's a fun challenge. Coming down on the back straight for the first time. I'm just going to be a bit cautious coming to Blanchemont because some guys like to tap off early, and you don't want to go straight into the back of someone because your race will be over just like that. Someone goes a bit wide up ahead, and that'll be a track limits warning for sure. 3 of those, and you'll get a drive-through penalty. Last corners for the first time. Everyone's bunching up a bit. Aston behind me gets pretty close, and it's hard to get an exit out of this corner with so many people surrounding you. So no overtakes for the next corner. But that's 1 lap done, and I'm feeling pretty happy with the car so far. We've got another dive, pretty late one. I go really close to the wall. Just trying to get a nice run, nice exit out of there. Still a bit of a gap, so don't have hopes for getting an overtake done just yet. Looks like they might be doing a 2 wide up there. No, the Audi backs out and is sensible about it. I smashed the inner curb there, which puts me a little bit offline. That Porsche gets it wrong. This Audi gets it wrong, right into the wall for him. But I carried enough speed to get alongside this fella. And we got the Aston in my mirror right there creeping up, so I have to be careful and I already actually just have to go for the dive here on the outside, which I managed to do just to make sure I don't lose 2 positions in one. So I was happy to get that move done. Right now I had a little bit of space and time to get my head into it, work out my lines, my braking points a little bit better, get up to pace. Because as you can see here, I took a much too tight of a line coming through that corner. It's just going to be a little while before I'm up there, but I'm pretty confident with how I've driven at the start of this race. It's going to be a good race. So I'll be quiet for the next few corners as I gradually catch up to this Ferrari. So already I can see I'm making major gains on this guy ahead. I'm fairly confident I will be right behind him within the next half a lap or so. I think I'm around 4th at this point. I did start around halfway down the field. I'm not exactly sure of the numbers. I don't know how many people were in the race, but I knew I was about halfway down the field at the start. So I've made a fairly good progress so far coming up field. I didn't think maybe getting first would be a possibility at the point, even podium, but I could see 3rd place in the distance, so it was just going to be a hard-fought, well-driven race for me to get a good position, good result. Coming down to the last corners, taking that curb a lot. Not my best exit out of that corner, but hey, it'll do for now. I'm still trying to get the hang of it, adjusting the traction control a tiny bit there. Because this car coming out the corners is generally really punchy and it's easy to spin up the wheels, so Depending on how grippy the track is, you might have to run some more traction control. Right, so this is the third lap, I believe. I've already lost track. This corner I was getting wrong quite a bit, not getting flat through radion, which you can do in these conditions that I was driving in, but not that time around. I'm probably right about now into this guy's slipstream, which gradually pulls me a bit closer and closer to him. Braking a little bit later than him as well. His lines are a bit odd there. He's gone way too deep, which made that corner tight for him. I planned that so I could have a good run onto this little straight, sneaky little dive on the inside there, but he broke pretty late, which kept him out wide. So I just kept my nose in there. He couldn't cut back on me, but he had the line for this corner, so well done for him. That's some good defense. Still behind him just for the moment. Coming down to Pujon, I'm just being a little sneaky, sticking my nose on the inside, maybe distracting him a little bit, which seemed to work because he outbroke himself, allowing me to get back on the inside again. But now I'm on the outside for this corner, which is going to be very hard. I'm going to have to brake really late, which I try. And I managed to hold it out, keeping him on the inside and behind me. So that's one more position, and I believe I'm into third now. I'm going to speed it up because it's going to be a lap or two before I'm having any more sort of action going on. Okay, so we are 2 laps in the future now, where I have actually made up some ground to the top 2 drivers, which I didn't expect to happen from where I started in this race. But it turns out I was driving fairly well, or at least well enough to keep up with them and drive slightly faster than them. My lines were gradually getting a little bit better, which they were suffering a little bit in. This Ferrari had been catching up to the Aston Martin in front, so I knew that they could possibly be battling within the next few laps, or at this point even corners, so that would allow me to catch up a little bit more. I'm focusing on getting my exit out of that corner as well as I can, because this straight is one of the easiest places to overtake, really. As long as you get a good run through here. I had to tap off again, bad line. Yeah, if I had a few more laps of practice, maybe I'd be getting that better, but it was all I could do at the moment. Going for a little bit of a defensive move, the Aston is. Ferrari to the outside. Should be slowing them down a little bit, and I brake much later. That's already half the distance I've closed up. Aston has been overtaken, and I knew he'd been overtaken. He'd probably be a little bit flustered at this point. All I knew that I had to do some sort of move like this, fake dive, might get him a little bit more flustered, and yep, he outbroke himself, so it works. Straight for the inside for me. He nearly taps me coming back in, but that's one position for me. I'm into second now, so just got to catch the Ferrari, which I believe I should be able to do. I was up on his pace in the previous couple laps. So in a situation like that, when someone's just been overtaken and you're right behind them, they might lose a little bit of their concentration and start focusing on their mirrors when you're making these fake dives and things like that. So they're going to possibly outbrake themselves, which allows you to make an opportunity to get through and pass them as well. Obviously, once you've got that, then it's time to focus on the next guy, which is what I'm trying to do now. I'm less than a second behind him, so this could be done within a few corners. If I have to, I'll give it a lap. There's only maybe two or three laps to go at this point. I'm not 100% certain, but we'll find out soon enough. My lap times were roughly high 218s in this race. I know I could have been driving a little bit better, but that's not the point. The battling itself was quite fun. That's the main thing. Backing off a little bit through Blanchimont because I wasn't quite confident he would go flat through there. Didn't have... Oh, that Aston right behind me nearly went flying into the back of me. Good thing I avoided that. And on to the next lap, I still haven't got an opportunity to get past this Ferrari. He's made a little bit of space coming out the final corner. I knew it was going to be really important to get a good exit out of this corner. Getting nice and close to that wall again. But still, he has a fairly decent gap ahead. I'm not exactly sure, maybe it's about 7/10. I might just be in a slipstream, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Unless he messes up Radeon. I have to tap off again and getting the line wrong once more. But at this point, I didn't really think I'd be able to get him coming into this corner, so I have to be planning for another place. I still had a little bit of slipstream though, so it gave me enough to gain right up behind him again. Braking nice and late. Only about a car length between us. So I'm going to come nice and wide, preparing for a nice line into this corner. He goes a bit wide, so that gives me an opportunity to pounce. Going for the inside, I'm just going to have to throw it in here. He brakes early enough to let me in, and all you have to do at this point is keep it nice and tight. They can't do anything about it. That's one more position claimed, and that's enough to put me into first from wherever I started, maybe halfway down the field. So I'm pretty stoked. I think we only have maybe a lap to go after this. I'm going to speed it up to the end of this lap and let you watch my final lap. Yep, this is going to be the final lap. Just enjoy. Through the bus stop chicane for the final time. I don't even think that guy's in my mirror. He's about 2.7 seconds behind at this point. So I've done what I needed to do, coming to the finish line, and that is a race win. Very happy with that race. That was quite a fun battle I had with a few of the drivers. Looking forward to doing some more of these kind of races in the future. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.